So I'm in the process of changing jobs. So I had to go get a drug test, which is not like an everyday occurrence. It's not like something you get used to. Like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, like I'm going to another drug test this week or something. No, it's like
some people do.
Yeah, I suppose.
There's a whole subset of the community that regularly has to pee into a cup, Gary.
That's too bad. I'm glad I'm not part of that subset. No, so it's like I went there, and for some reason I was anxious about. I was worried about not being able to
pee.
Yeah, I don't know if it was like some stupid like, what's the word? Like impotence thing. Like,
oh wow,
like I'm not going to be able to perform or something.
Urinary impotence.
Yeah, no, I know that sounds stupid.
I like it.
No, so I was like chugging water, and like I took a water bottle with me, and I was like drinking water in the car. And so I get there and I'm like, okay, this is like a clinic, like there might be a wait. So I'm expecting a wait. So when I go inside, I like have like an inkling of like, I will be able to pee. And like, I don't know if it's like, I don't know. I don't usually pee on demand. It's not like something that's like, it's not something that people are usually asked to do, you know? Like,
fair enough.
It's not just like, how often do people like, do you need to pee?
Again, there's a very specific subset of people in the society that are told when to pee.
No, but it's like, it's usually like I go when I have to go.
Yeah.
So to have to go at a certain time is weird. So like I said, I like chugged water. So when I was in the waiting room, I was like, okay, this might take a while. But there's only like one other person there. So it's like, okay, it's not going to take that long. But as I'm sitting there, I start to have to pee.
Yeah.
And like it starts getting like really bad. And I'm like, well, okay, how much longer is this going to take? Like, you just have to give me a cup, right? It's not like a big deal. And so I'm just waiting there with this one other person. Nothing's happening.
Your leg starts to shake.
I really have to go. So at a certain point, like, I'm messaging you and the other guys on our chat, and I'm like, hey guys, I have to pee. I think I'm going to tell the receptionist. So I go up to the receptionist. I'm like, I'm going to be honest. I have to go to the bathroom. Do you know when this is going to be ready? And she's like, oh, I think they're working on something. I'll let them know.
Expedite it.
It's like, how often, like, imagine working in an office and your job is to let someone know that someone has to pee.
Yeah. Well, the funny part for me is I'm picturing it from their side of things, and there's this twitchy kid sitting in the lobby who has to pee really bad. He's probably shaking a little bit, and then you probably fill the cup, and you've drank so much water that's clear. It's like, looks like you're hiding something.
Yeah. So
this doped up kid in the lobby's got to go.
So yeah. So not to go into the gory details, but as soon as like I actually got in there, like I filled up to the cup
way
to, like,
over what you needed.
No, I pulled yeah. No, I filled up the cup to a mark and a little bit past it, and then I went for the toilet and like another it was Tom Hanks in League of Their Own.
Yeah.
Like it was like 40 seconds of just
Did you have the waited too long pissgasm?
I way overdid it. Yeah, no. After like as I was driving away from the clinic, I still had the relief as I was driving away. Welcome to episode 38. 38 of the Unreasonably Angry podcast. Oh my gosh. Off to a great start here. My name is Gary.
My name is Eric.
And how are you fuckers doing today? This week? Whatever. Get your Christmas shopping done. You see, like, Amazon had like a page for like the certain types of shipping that you have to like get done by. Like,
yeah, no, 18th, it actually
like,
does say something on there like order today or order by X date to get before Christmas. Yeah, and it's funny because I thought it was pretty cool when I was ordering something last week. It was like, if you order this, it will not be there before Christmas. And I was like, oh, well, fuck it. I'm not ordering that anymore. So it's kind of funny because if you think about it, if Amazon really wanted to be dicks, they don't have to tell you that. They could say expected by, but they literally said on there, will not arrive before Christmas. And you're like, fine, I'm not going to buy it from you.
Well, they don't want people to be unhappy.
Well, that's kind of cool. Like, I'm actually giving them props for that.
Yeah, and it's funny, they even had like December 24th, last day to do same day shipping in select areas. I was like, ooh, some people
really
if you did that, you'd really cutting it close.
Well, think about the people that like go into stores like on Christmas Eve to finalize their shopping. That's the part for me where I'm always like, you're a fucking crazy person. You're hoping it's in stock. You're hoping nothing happens. I mean, there's no. I'm basically done. I have like 2 things left.
I'm pretty close to done. Yeah. So it's gonna be a new year soon. The award nominations are coming out and all that bullshit. And
now, mind you, we're not like a movie review show, but
it wouldn't be. But we do have something to be angry about. Because it wouldn't be 2017 if you didn't have a million articles about
something in the movie industry,
something about the awards that came out,
about rich people bitching about stupid shit.
Yeah. Well,
no, hold on.
Was it last year or the year before where it was black? What was it?
Oscars so white.
Oscars so white. Yeah, that was the hashtag. Got to remember that. That's how we remember events in history now, by their hashtag.
Stupid hashtags.
Their hashtag.
Yeah.
You're gonna like 20 years from now, or let's say like 50 years from now.
Yeah.
Students in history class in high school are gonna open up a textbook, and the chapters are gonna be hashtags.
Yeah.
It's gonna be
chapter
hashtag
13.
Oscars so white.
Yeah.
Hashtag pussy grabs back. Hashtag like whatever.
Well, wait, was the Oscars so white? I feel like that was 2 years ago, wasn't it? It wasn't last year.
2 years.
Last year, like the pendulum swung way far the other direction.
Yeah.
Where it was like the first time no white.
Yeah, last year Moonlight won.
Yeah.
And I can't say his name. Mahershala Ali.
Mahershala
Ali. I was close.
Yeah.
I knew it wasn't.
You're like Marshmallow Ali.
I knew it wasn't Muhammad.
Yeah, it's not.
I know he's a Muslim, but I know it wasn't Muhammad.
It's not Muhammad. So quickly, just to preface this before anybody, all the bitching and stuff about the vagina grabbing, all warranted. Totally on board with that. If you got molested by your boss, you have every right to complain. So we're not talking about that. We're more talking about the stupidity that came out this week about the Golden Globes. So Gary, would you like to start us off there as to what exactly we're talking about?
Well, you said something about like people were angry that there were no women directors nominated.
There's no female best director nominees.
Okay.
And I'm actually pulling up the list right now because I was like, well, maybe it'd be a good idea to have the list.
The ones that would come to mind that I would think would get nominated would be Greta Gerwig for Lady Bird.
Did you see Lady Bird?
Yeah, I loved it.
Okay, so I didn't know if you actually went with them to go see it. Okay.
What I think it should win for is screenplay. I thought it had a great screenplay.
Gotcha.
But it would have to beat 3 Billboards. So
and it was actually,
it's hard to say about anything this year.
Now, we're not usually people who care. I mean, I don't generally get too wrapped up in the award shows because, I mean, realistically, it doesn't matter if you like the movie, you like the movie. I guess it's kind of cool to see a movie that you wins, a movie that you like win something, but yeah. I'm not the type of person that can sit down and watch the Oscars for 3 hours. Usually what we'll do is we'll record it and then we'll fast forward to speeches that we wanted to hear from actors that we like. Like every once in a while, you'll have a speech from someone that you found funny or inspirational or something like that. And I still, the one that always cracks me up is the Jennifer Lawrence Falling was fun.
Sure.
Though now it's just kind of become a shtick. Like I used to really like her.
Jennifer Lawrence. We've all become jaded of her.
Yeah, I'm just worn out.
She's oversaturated at this
Way
point.
oversaturated. And it was Natalie Portman's when she won and she was pregnant and she was like, my husband was in the movie and he's the guy who said he didn't want to have sex with me. But look, he wanted to have sex with me. This is his baby. Everybody's like, that was awkward. I was like, that was awesome.
Was that Black Swan?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So the other director that people got mad that didn't get nominated was Patty Jenkins, who did.
That was the other one I was going to say.
Now, if we're going to be honest, like I've watched Wonder Woman, but the one that I'm actually curious about was Detroit. That was what's her face, the one who did
Hurt Locker.
Yeah, same Catherine, whatever. And maybe it was in the wrong year. Maybe it was last year, and that's why. But that one I had heard had great direction, but she didn't get nominated. But Patty Jenkins did a great job with Wonder Woman. But let me read to you, Gary, since you're not looking at it.
The best directors.
The best director nominees, and you tell me which one of these we're supposed to get rid of.
Okay.
Let's start with Steven Spielberg for the post.
Oh, no, he's a hack. Get rid of him.
Yeah, there you go. So I haven't seen the post, obviously, but any movie with him, Meryl Streep, and Tom Hanks it's gonna automatically. The thing is even when Meryl Streep doesn't give a good performance, it's still Meryl Streep. And when I say it's like when she doesn't give a good performance, it's not her normal top of the tier, top shelf. Her like middle range performance is a lot
better
of people.
Than most.
Exactly. Yeah. Ridley Scott for All the Money in the World.
Okay.
We haven't seen it. That's the Michelle Williams one where it's the rich guy's grandkid gets kidnapped or whatever. Christopher Nolan for Dunkirk.
Okay.
Direction in that movie was fucking spot on. Like whether you like the movie or not. Martin McDonagh for Three Billboards.
Right.
Which we saw, and I think that movie could win like 5 awards and I'd be happy.
I honestly think it should win everything it's nominated for.
And Guillermo del Toro for The Shape of Water, which I've heard nothing but great things for basically the last 6 months about, even before it got like a wide release. All I've heard was positive things.
The only one I would think about putting anyone pulling out and putting someone else in would be Ridley Scott.
And the thing is, that's
but I
only
haven't
because
seen
you
that
haven't
movie.
seen it. Yeah. And it's not like Ridley Scott's a bad director. It's just that he's not normally. You don't like normally think of him and go, "Oh, he's got to." He's probably going to win, because he normally doesn't. He doesn't always direct movies that you would think would be up for that kind of attention.
Well, the funny thing is, like the biggest names there are him and Steven Spielberg, but both of them have done their fair share of just okay movies.
Yeah,
they haven't always been
Ridley
like
Scott.
gold.
He doesn't always direct movies that are award winners. They're usually action blockbuster type movies. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like even with he directed Aliens?
Oh yeah, the first Alien. Yeah.
Alien. Okay. Well, for some reason I always fuck those two up. Like
Aliens
I don't know why.
is
James Cameron. And then he did Blade Runner. So I mean, back in the day, he did some like big important like sci-fi movies, but lately he's done movies that you're like, okay, it's cool. It was good. I enjoyed it, but you're not like walking out going, oh my God. But I've heard really good things about All the Money in the World. Yeah. So my point was, well, I really liked Wonder Woman. Would I remove anybody from that list to force a name in so you can say, hey, there was a woman nominated? Or are we at a point now where we're nitpicking at things for the sake of nitpicking? Because I don't think anybody here is being sexist by the 5 people that are nominated.
Well, so speaking of Oscars So White, my reaction then to all that uproar is the same as this, which is if you're angry about what gets nominated, you should not be angry at the people who are giving the awards. You should be angry at Hollywood for not representing whoever you think is misrepresented.
Sure.
Like if the Oscars doesn't nominate anyone for who's happens to be African American for their performance or for their work on a movie, then you should be angry that there weren't any movies that were produced, directed, or acted by African American people that year that were good enough to make it to the Oscars.
Are we saying African American?
Black.
Whatever. Oh, I'm just wondering. I'm trying to keep up.
I feel like we're having a politically correct discussion, so I just went that route. I don't know.
No, but black is. See, that's the thing is my good friends.
Black is political. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, so I thought black was political.
You're right. African Americans is what politicians say. You're totally right. You're totally right. I'm not a politician.
Hey, 65-year-old white guy, dictate what I'm supposed to call black people. But no, that's what the problem is, though. We're in 2017, and it's like, what am I supposed to say? I don't know what the fuck you want me to say. The part that actually irritates me the most about political correctness, and I think maybe that's kind of where we're at right now. I know we kind of started to talk about political correctness last week, but the thing that bothers me most about political correctness is I'm never told that I'm being politically correct by a minority. I'm always told about political correctness from other white people that are what's the word, soapboxing. They're like getting up there and they're virtue signaling like, by the way, did you know that this person doesn't like to be called that? And I'm like, what? It literally happened to me before where somebody was like, you're not supposed to say that. You're supposed to say this. And I turned to my friend who was of that descent. I'm like, hey man, is this the truth? And he's no, fuck that. Like I don't. Maybe there are a lot of African American people that prefer to be called African American. My friends said, no, dude, it's black. Just go with black.
So I grew up. Okay, and we're gonna get back to the awards things. We're not gonna stray too far, but this still is in line with it. I grew up in a city and in Southern California, and went to a high school that were very, very dominantly Asian. Like, a lot of Asian people.
Yeah.
And like my school had to be like 60% or more Asians, and then the rest were white people, and there were like 2 black people.
Yeah.
And so like people would refer to this school as like the Asian invasion school.
Oh God.
And I first heard that from you guessed it, an Asian person.
Yeah.
It's not like that. Like white people came up with that term, because if they did, all the Asians would go, "What the fuck, man?" But no. But like if I said that, like I first heard that, and then if I said that around an Asian friend of mine, they wouldn't be like, "What the fuck, man?" But if I said it around like a particularly sensitive white person, they'd be like, "You can't say that.
Yeah.
You especially can't say that in front of your Asian friends." It's
Yeah.
like, what? Don't tell me what I can say in front of my Asian friends. They're my friends. Fuck you. Like
No, I have a particular. So the funny thing about that is I think there are definitely exceptions to that rule.
Yeah.
Now I had a family member around that used the word Oriental to describe someone.
Of course, there are exceptions.
So when I heard it, I'm like, I wasn't trying to be the virtue signaler. I was like, hey, just FYI, we don't actually say Oriental people anymore. That's not something that you say. And she goes, well, what difference does it make? And I was like, well, it'd be like calling a black person a Negro. And she goes, well, I do call them Negroes. I'm like, no, not anymore.
There's your problem.
But that's not. And what was funny was she was an older like family friend, and she wasn't trying to be mean, but you could tell that she was like. It's just she's from a different time. Now, it doesn't make it okay, but that's just where she's at. She's in her 80s. It's past that. For me, it was funny because I looked at myself and like, hey, am I that guy? Am I the guy who's like, don't see that? But then I was like, no, there are certain things that you probably should check.
There's definitely a line, but I think it's farther. The people keep tugging on the line, trying to make it closer and
And you
closer.
know who I learned that from? Honestly, the person I learned it from was I used that word when I was younger. When I was younger, I used the word Oriental to describe a car. And my friend was Asian, and he's like, hey, we don't...
Oriental, like a Hyundai
or
something?
Yeah.
Okay.
And he's like, we don't say Oriental anymore. And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, we just don't like it. Asian people don't like it. I was like, cool. That was the end of it.
That was the whole conversation.
Yeah,
and then
whereas-
the rest of your life, you didn't say Oriental.
Pretty much.
It wasn't like, oh, I've always been saying that. I'm that's part of my vocabulary.
No, I'm like, I was like, oh, really? He's like, yeah, we don't like that. We like being called Asian instead. I'm like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah.
But the funny thing about that is, have you ever noticed that you'll go to like some like hole in the wall Chinese restaurants and it'll say Oriental food underneath it?
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the fuck? It's confusing.
So here's the thing. We have 5 spots for most of these awards.
Yeah.
Right? You have 5 nominees.
Just pulled it.
So are we supposed to have every year? Are we supposed to have one white person, one black person, one Asian person, one Mexican person?
No.
How is this supposed to happen?
This is how you're supposed to do it. One white person, but she's got to be a woman.
Okay.
One black man.
So no white males at all.
No white males.
Yeah.
If you
That's what we're striving towards. Is no white men.
No, I'm sure
because they're all rapists.
Well, all right. I'm trying to think of a minority rapist.
What's funny is that is.
Have we had any reports of anybody who's not a white man that's done it? Because I'd really like to at least be like, oh, there was that one. But as of right now, I'm coming up with just Harvey Weinstein and Kevin Spacey and Louis C.K. White.
You know what? Nope.
Bill Cosby.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's like the king of them all. He was drugging people and raping them.
Yeah.
That's a whole other level.
Yeah.
Okay, so at least we have diversity when it comes to rape.
Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
that sentence just came out.
Yeah, at least we have diversity.
Well, no, that's what I was listening to another podcast. I don't remember which one it was, but they were talking about, it might have been Joe Rogan, and he was talking about how like diversity in and of itself, like in the idea of what diversity is a very, very good thing. You know, when you're saying we want to make sure that we have this melting pot of things, right? We want to have people from all over the world affect us in different ways and be a part of things.
Yeah.
But when you get to a point where diversity means we must have X, Y, Z of each type of people, you're now like, when it comes to this is art. It's subjective. So to go, hey, if you didn't find this movie directed by this black woman as good as this movie directed by this Asian man, like I don't see what the fuck that has to do with anything. Well, now, granted, I know I sit on the bench of white patriarchy, as people love to fucking keep reminding me daily. But the funny thing about it is I've never seen a movie and looked at it and been like, I bet this director's white. Ever. I said, This is a fucking great movie. And a lot of times I'll be like, who directed that one? Oh yeah, that's this person.
Doesn't fucking matter.
No, it doesn't fucking matter.
Like if I mean, there are exceptions because like there are some movies that probably couldn't have been directed by another race. Like if Get Out was directed by a white guy, that'd be kind of weird. But I mean, it makes sense that it's a black guy. That's all I'm saying. It makes sense.
You know what doesn't make sense is that Get Out is nominated as a comedy.
Oh yeah, no, we don't even have to go into that. That's just that speaks for itself.
What's funny about that is the first thing that I think it was Jordan Peele himself actually tweeted something out like, "So you guys watched my movie and thought that was funny, huh?" All right. Now,
it's like pulling the race card.
What's funny about that though is the last movie that got nominated out of category like that was The Martian. The Martian was not a comedy, right? Like The
No.
Martian had a few parts that were funny, but even Get Out had a few
It had
parts.
a lot of. It had like one-liners like sprinkled in throughout the whole thing,
Which
but
Get-
it wasn't a funny story.
Which Get Out did as well. His buddy, his TSA agent friend was fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't call that movie a comedy.
Those moments were like far between
Yeah.
the like psychological horror
Yeah.
moments. It's like, yeah, it wasn't exactly like Evil Dead when it comes to comedy horror.
But you know what? Even him, he's saying, you know what? It's stupid they got nominated for that, but he's going, hey, at least it got nominated. It got attention. Like, people saw it. Like, I'm glad that it got out there and people, you know, and he's done a lot of really cool things. I don't know if I sent you that video of him reading fan theories. There was a video on Reddit where he was reading Reddit fan theories of why he did certain things in the movie. And some of them were like, yeah, you were dead on. And some of them were like, nope. Like, one of them was, he was talking about how the girl, I can't think, Rose, is that her name? Rose? She was, we find out she's crazy, spoiler alert. When we find out she's crazy, she's sitting at her computer and she's eating the Fruit Loops, but she's not.
One at a time with no milk.
And then drinking the milk with a straw.
Yeah.
And somebody's like, yeah, what that represented. Wow. You went straight to the penis.
Well, yeah.
No, what they said was, what this represented was that she would mix her pure milky whiteness with color. And he goes, nope, I was just showing that she was crazy.
That actually does make sense, though.
Right?
What the fuck? Wow.
He's like, no, I was just thinking that what a crazy thing for someone to do. Eat your Fruit Loops and then drink your milk. Dude, what a sick fuck. I'm like, yeah, that's true.
Well, going back to the awards, I think like part of why people get so angry about it versus other industries is because how public it is, obviously. Like Hollywood is very public thing. Like when you have like movies come out, like and the whole country goes to see them in their local movie theater. Like they can't help but like all of the black people can't help notice that there's a lot of white people on screen and not as many black people. Yeah. It's like because the black people still going in the movies, but like the ones who aren't seeing like the newest Medea movie are gonna go see a movie with a bunch of white people with like one black person.
It really all depends on where you're from and how you grew up and what kind of things you're into. Because it's like when you were younger and you'd have your friends. And I remember being in like junior high, and like I don't know if this was the case when you were at that age. Yeah. When I was that age, you had the rockers and you had the rappers, right? You had the skate kids, you had the skateboard kids. Like you had those groups. And it was always interesting. Well, like when I had friends, 'cause I had friends from really all over the place because I never lived in one place for very long. So I always kind of hung out with whoever. And every once in a while you'd meet like that quote unquote like gangster kid. Like where I grew up, there was like a ton of like Mexican gangster kids. And some of them became like some of my really good friends. And it was always really funny. I remember this kid, his name was Jacob. And he looked like a 1990s Mexican gangster, the shaved head with like a little strip of hair down the middle and, had the big giant chain. And the funniest part for me was when would hang out and like he loved metal. Like we used to listen to rock all the time. People were like, well, you don't like rap? And he's like, no, I like rap, but I also like rock. And it's funny how we'll see people and we'll go, oh, that person must not have seen this. If they're black, they must watch this, but not this. And it's funny because I feel like so many opinions based on like opinions of movies and things get based off what people think, like based on stereotypes. Instead of just going, hey, was it a good movie? Did people go see it? Did people enjoy it? Yeah. How did it perform? Well, I don't really hear too many Star Wars fans get really worked up that they're not winning all kinds of Academy Awards. Yeah. They just go and enjoy the movies. And they're some of the more passionate fans. They get dressed up and have plastic lightsabers and fight in the parking lot. Yep. And
there's like one black person in all Star Wars movies.
And it's been in the last 3?
Oh wait, no, I'm sorry, 2. There's one in the original trilogy and one in the prequels.
In the original trilogy?
Yeah, Lando.
Oh, yeah. Lando Calrissian.
Whoa. I said Lando. I'm sorry. Lando. Please don't email us.
People just literally just turn the radio off.
Lando Calrissian.
Billy D. Williams. Yeah.
Yeah, and then Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, those the 2 black people. None so far in the new. No. I haven't seen any.
Yeah. The
Oh, Finn.
Yeah.
Okay, so 1 in each. That's the role they're playing by. Yeah. 1 in each trilogy.
Well, that's Jesus Christ. So the thing is
how does that work? Like it's a galaxy long whatever. But like so in like the whole solar system, like is there just one planet with all black people?
I do honestly
like
this is like a what's the
well no that's not true.
What's this like, study? The study of people. It's called from around the world. When you're studying that topic, it's keep talking. I'll figure it out.
Anthropology?
Anthropology. That's what I was looking for. It's like an anthropological conversation about a space universe. It's like, where did the black people in this where'd the lizard people come from? Where'd the white people come from? And it really didn't have many.
So
you had Asian people in the beginning, but you didn't really have any Hispanic people in the beginning, the first movies, right?
No. But
they do now. Rogue One had one of the main characters.
Yeah, so I would say like if it were similar to like Earth's history, you'd have like historically all the races came from like a central location.
Yeah.
Like one race would come from one location and then they mix over time, over history. So it's probably like the same with the galaxy far, far away. They just mixed after all growing up on one planet together.
It's possible. That's how tribalism works. Tribes start from somewhere and they go somewhere and then they blend in together later. Right?
This is weird.
Who gives a shit?
It's so weird. It's like we're talking about the anthropology of Star Wars. What the fuck? But my point was black fans of Star Wars could easily get upset about like there not being that many black people in them.
And what I actually remember mostly from my black friends that grew up that are big Star Wars fans is always loving Lando Calrissian. Like that was it. Like now that I'm remembering it, it was always like,
and the one black guy in Star Trek. What's his name?
Data?
Was Data
the guy from Reading Rainbow? LeVar Burton?
LeVar Burton.
Yeah, with the thing on his eye.
Yeah.
Did he have like a headband on his eyes?
That was him. Yeah.
I'm not a Star Trek guy.
I'm not a Star Trek guy.
At least not the next Enterprise.
We shouldn't have even dipped into that.
So one of the things,
but also like sci-fi movies are historically like they go back to like the 50s where it's all white people. Like there's no black people to be.
Now, don't get me wrong. I completely understand that as society shifts and as society changes and as culture blends more, there should be more representation in different areas. Absolutely, I agree with that 100%.
Yeah.
But what I don't agree with is what I think it's funny, and this came up a few years ago when this Oscar So White thing came up. They got really mad that there weren't enough black people that had won, and wasn't it an Asian director or a Mexican director that won for the first time? Wasn't it the dude from Revenant? Didn't he win?
Alejandro Inarritu.
And it's like, instead of us focusing, hey, this is one of the first, wasn't he one of the first Mexican directors to win Best Picture at the Academy Awards?
It
was some big fucking deal.
The first, yeah.
And instead of us focusing on that, we're focusing on how there's not enough of this other group.
Yeah.
And what always surprises me, or what I consider interesting, is I personally it doesn't affect me positively or negatively if a white person wins an award, right? If a minority wins an award, that's great.
It's not like
really all I care about was the movie good? Do I think the person deserved it? Awesome. But if we're going to talk about people being represented, it's weird to me how little we focus on some of the minorities that don't get as much attention. I mean, there's a pretty huge Hispanic population in the United States as well, and they're not always represented positively.
Yeah.
Asians have been like mocked and ridiculed in cinema for years. And if you think about it, there was a really long period of time where Asians weren't even portrayed by actual Asians. Same with Native Americans. But we don't hear that. But right now, all the focus is on one group at a time. And instead, it's like, okay, well, look, if we're really being honest with ourselves, if you want to be upset, like you said, are there opportunities? Are there opportunities outside of shtick or outside of, satire?
Yeah.
And it's funny that one of the things that I could say as a white man is go, well, hey, if you're not happy with it, go write something. And people go, oh, that's easy for you to say. But it came out a few years ago. That's what's her face said. Kristen Stewart said that. Mm-hmm. She goes, you know what? I get upset there's not always great roles for women too. It's like, but what I would say is if you want an interesting role and you're not happy with what you're being offered, go write something.
Yeah, and we've seen examples of all of this. Like Get Out is a great example of that. It's a movie about race, but it was like the highest grossing horror movie ever, right?
It's up until It, because it was a fucking monster.
Well, yeah, but yeah, it broke a lot of barriers in terms of that sort of thing, and it didn't, like, it wasn't just black people seeing it wasn't just white people seeing it, everyone saw it.
And the thing is, the funny part is as a white guy walking out of that theater, I'm sure I was probably getting some looks like, man, what the fuck you doing? Because the thing is like, and I don't mean for going and seeing the movie, I mean it vilified a regular white family, right? It made them look like evil bad guys. But I thought it was hilarious. Like, I thought, not hilarious as in a funny way, but I thought it was funny how
comedy.
They're But what I think is funny is how people take that and they go, "Oh, white people, let's look what white people do." I'm like, well, yeah, this is a crazy fucking white family. Like they did a really good job of making them off the walls and not like stupid crazy or stupid evil, intelligent, wealthy, successful evil. And I thought that was like, it was, I don't think the word I was looking for was hilarious, but what I was looking for was how well, no, it is. It's funny how well we can vilify somebody without even making them seem stupid or it was crazy, but not crazy like off the charts. It was, these people are very aware of what they're doing. And it really started conversations. It started conversations between white people. It started conversations between white people and black people. About weird fears that you get. And the thing is you could take it to this extreme that if you're a white person that wanted to meet or a black person that wanted to meet a white person's family, that in your head, like, man, I'm going to get murdered. It's never that extreme, but are they going to accept me? Are they going to think less of her because she's dating me? And I thought that was a really interesting conversation. I saw a lot of people talking about it. Yeah. So if you take it aside from everything else, the movie did a really good job of stirring that conversation up.
Yeah, if I were to sum up the commentary of the movie and what it did well was that like it used extreme examples of racism to point out the less extreme and less prevalent and less visible forms of racism that we do deal with a lot still.
Yeah, I think this the subtle racism
the
is
subtle
the stuff
things.
we
Like,
do.
like when he's like walking around at the party and people are like saying like just weird things to him.
Yeah.
Because like you find out later why in the context of the movie, but it's still like the point is it still rings true out of context. Like that you will like run into old white people saying that to young black people. Yeah. And it's not
Son,
it's
do you
still
find
weird.
that you're faster than all of your friends? Like, what the fuck? Yeah. No, but the thing is it was funny because I was listening to another conversation and somebody was talking about how it goes beyond just like the white and black, but there are a lot of stereotypes that people just automatically assume. People assume that if you're Asian, you're smart. You know, they just assume like you grew up in Irvine. And that was a big deal. Like people just assume, oh, your school's Asian. Oh, they must have a high GPA. And
my school had like the highest average GPA.
It's true. But the thing is the funny thing is people get mad. They're like, well, that's not a bad stereotype. And it's like, no, but you're also just assuming you're assuming expectations based off who they are, what the color of their skin is. And if you think about it, most Asian characters, like if you look back in the 80s and look at Asian characters versus now, they've come a long fucking way.
So it's like
Long Duck Dong and was it Breakfast at or not Breakfast at Tiffany's? 16 Candles.
No, it was Breakfast at Tiffany's.
Oh no, that wasn't an Asian guy. That was Mickey Rooney.
No, that's what
to be an Asian
I thought
guy.
that's what you're talking about.
Jesus.
Yeah, no, that was bad. No, but like if I met an Asian person, I wouldn't like immediately assume that they're smart.
Yeah.
I'd be like, but if they ended up being smart, I wouldn't be very surprised. Is that so racist?
Fair, I guess.
It's like post racism or something.
Well, not
passive racism.
The thing is that's what people think though. The people get worked up because they go, well, even if you're not saying something bad, you're still judging me based off this.
Sure.
And I don't know. I guess,
but I wouldn't be surprised if someone like assumed that I was privileged because I'm a white male. Yeah. Because I am. Like, I wouldn't be upset about that. That's true.
Yeah. Speaking of which, my white privilege check is late this month, so I don't know. Who do I contact about that?
Your doctor. If it's longer than 4 hours, you should contact your doctor.
It's fucking weird. But we also kind of wanted to talk about the word snubs. We've been hearing a lot about snubs. So for us,
people are getting snubbed. We heard Greta Gerwig got snubbed for Best Director.
And I think it's such a fucking weird word. It's like, hey, you made this movie. You did a phenomenal job. People are arguing that you deserve to win an award, but because you didn't get nominated.
That's high praise already.
Yeah, but you got snubbed.
Yeah.
I feel like it's, and I understand that it's the movie industry, and I understand that the movie industry as a whole is a self-congratulating bunch of fucking wealthy, lucky people. But to go so far as to get so worked up, an award is a special thing, right? An award is a special thing. Could you imagine the rest of the NFL teams getting mad because they didn't win the Super Bowl? Could you imagine the rest of the NFL players or MLB players crying because they didn't win the MVP? Now, granted, you do get an occasion where somebody goes, oh, that person should have won and they didn't win. But not to this level. Not to the level where it's like, I mean, if you type in Golden Globes snubs, there's like 30 articles going down a long list of these people who got paid $10 million to do something they love doing, and they're whining because they didn't get a fucking statue to put up. I don't get it.
Well, there's too much importance placed on them.
Yeah.
It's like too big of a thing. Like, yeah, you get dressed up, you go there, you win or you don't win, and that's it. Like, it's not like, and if you win, yay. If you don't win, whatever. It's not like the end of the world. And two, there's, in terms of a million articles about it, it's just like, you know, fucking news
circle jerking
news with air quotes today, like BuzzFeed, whatever. It's like they just come up with whatever to rile people up about. It's like things like that. The opinions are not like, they don't come from the people. They come from the sources that's getting
fair.
the people angry.
That's fair. No, yeah, I mean, you're right. Like, it's not like I'm watching, I've seen a few actors and actresses tweet about their like displeasure, but for the most part, it's not that.
That's
it's
their
usually,
problem. That's their ego. That's not, you know.
Yeah. Well, and usually it's media outlets trying to stir up shit because they want attention. They want clicks.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I just feel like we're at a weird time right now where we want to celebrate people's like successes, right? Like, we want people to be represented. We want people to be involved. We want to be diverse. We want to, you know, lift each other up. But then when there's 5 awards out there, instead of spending a lot of time celebrating the people that won the award or celebrating the people nominated, I see more negativity about who didn't get nominated. And that's the weirdest part for me.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, it's when you read one of those articles and it's like, this person got nominated. This is the snub. This is the surprise. Why is it a surprise? Like, unless somebody like just like took a shit on screen and you're like, oh, this person deserves an award. But most of the time when people get an award, it shouldn't be that surprising. They did a good job.
Yeah. And well, to really drive this point fucking home that I've been making, not trying, I have been making it, but to drive it home, I would say that award shows are like putting up a mirror to that year of Hollywood. And if that year of Hollywood did not have movies that represented race well, if they didn't have movies that represented women well, then you're not going to see them in the awards. So it's like, you shouldn't be mad at the awards. You should be mad at Hollywood for not having the people you think should be represented.
Yeah, I think that's fair. And I think like the thing is, and again, I can't say that I know exactly what goes into all that. I'm not sitting here going, oh, it's really easy. Go sit down with a pen and paper. But don't tell me that it's impossible if you're there. If you're one of the 50 people blessed enough to be a leading actor in a movie these days. I mean, if you think about it, how many like really good leading actors can you think of? There's not a ton. And even from then, those that are good enough to meet with the right people, meet with the right producer, meet with the right writers, take that group and go write a movie about something that's important to you. You know, don't worry about the money. Don't worry about look at Clerks, right? Like when you watch the movie Clerks, Kevin Smith didn't do that to win an Oscar. He did it because he wanted to tell a story. He went out there and basically like sold all his shit and went like crazy on credit cards to make this movie he wanted to make. And so like, if you're telling me that you can't do it, but he could, that's the part that I just don't get. Look at Spike Lee. Look where he started and where he is now. You know what I mean? He's like one of the more respected, you know, black directors / screenwriters ever. Like he's made some amazing movies that have changed the course of cinema because he didn't take no. He didn't go, well, I can't, man, because I'm not white and shut the fuck up. Like, go do it. Go do it.
Yeah. If you want to talk about the importance of film and movies, and if you want to talk about like the cultural importance, the artistic importance, the socio-political importance, whatever, if you want to talk about all that, it far extends the fucking award season. Yeah. It goes way beyond that. Yeah. There's so many important movies that didn't even get close to the Oscars that you should still pay attention to and still made an impact on culture and on the society. So like, fuck awards. I mean, they're fun when they roll around every year, and it's fun to see who wins, but who cares if your favorite movie didn't win? It doesn't matter.
Fair.
Yeah, that's that. I think that pretty much wraps that up.
All right, we've got to take a quick break here to bring a word from We Are Dappertize. We Are Dappertize, a company created by brothers Andrew and Julian, who believe that feeling and looking great should be an affordable right for all. So whether you're wearing a suit and tie daily or heading to your first interview, or as we are a week away from Christmas, if you're trying to find that man in your life, a sharp tie, or the woman in your life, women wear ties.
Yeah, don't be gender inclusive, Eric.
Gender inclusive. God damn it, I hate you right now. Go on wearedappertize.com. Pick out a tie. Send it. You know, if you're a lady and you're buying it for your husband, maybe you can pose for him in just a tie. Mm-hmm. I'd say that's a Christmas present I can get on board with.
Yeah.
Yep. It'd make my jingle bell rock hard. What?
I don't I don't really have much to say about that. Andrew, I'll just keep going with the script. Andrew and Julian have carefully curated beautiful designs Andrew and Julian have carefully curated beautiful designs to offer you a selection of knitted, elegant, unique, and affordable ties. We have some. They sent us some.
Yes.
And they are.
Yes.
We can attest to them being knitted, elegant, unique, and affordable.
They're awesome.
Very affordable
Yes.
for us, but yes. Go to We Are Dapper Ties and enter the promo code ANGRY to get free shipping on all your orders all over the U.S. Again, go to wearedapperties.com and enter the promo code ANGRY. We Are Dapper Ties. Smart, affordable fashion. So we've been playing a lot of a new game on Xbox, which is called PUBG, is the short, which is stupid in itself. I'm already angry. PUBG? What the fuck? Like, okay, so here's what it stands for. Player Unknown's Battlegrounds.
Yeah.
It's been out on PC for like a year, and it's not actually officially out, but we'll get to that. Who the fuck is Player Unknown, first of all?
Brandon Schul or something like that?
It's like the developer. It's like the guy who made it.
Yeah.
And so am I to believe that the actual name of the game is Battlegrounds?
I don't know.
What a fucking, if that's true, what a fucking stupid name.
And yet we're going to play the fuck out of it.
Well, yeah, no, it's an awesome game, but that's a stupid fucking name. Okay, the other thing that we're angry about, first point, we're moving on. The other thing is, it has not come out. It's been on Steam for
Steam
like
Early
year.
Access. Yeah.
So it's been on PC. If you don't know what Steam is, it's just whatever. It's been on PC.
If you know what Steam is and you're listening to this podcast, go Google it.
Oh, I'm sure there are.
Yeah.
Like if
Google it.
Right. Google it. It's Steam Early Access, which is a program that they do where they work with developers to have people be able to play games that are not fully developed yet, that they're still working on it, but it's playable. So
realistically,
it's like playing a beta.
Yeah,
like,
it's basically giving you the ability to play a game that's not ready yet.
Yeah.
But by playing that, you're also able to give feedback on things that need to be fixed, changed, bugs, crashes, things like that.
Sure.
So really, it serves as two purposes. You're able to play the game, you're able to have fun with it, but the developer is also able to use what you're doing to make the game better. So it's a symbiotic relationship.
Yeah. So what happened, I'm guessing, is that a bunch of people who only play console were like, I want to play this game, and I don't have a PC, and whatever. And so they decided they worked with it coming out on Xbox, and Xbox has a similar program called Game Preview, where they do the same thing. They release it. It's not a full game, so it came out.
It only says it like 9 places.
Yeah. It says on the very front, it's explicitly Game Preview Edition. This game is not fully released.
Yeah.
Even when you launch the game, it says that, and it's like
and
this is not a full game.
The little picture of it below, when it's got the little PUBG picture, it also says Game Preview.
Yeah. So the point we're getting to, it's half the cost of a regular game. It's $30. It's not $60.
Bought on Amazon, so I got it for $25.63 or some shit like that. Yep.
And people are upset. A lot of people, not everyone, but a lot of people are upset.
Enough for us to be talking about it.
Enough people are upset about there being problems with the game when it
isn't out
when
yet.
it quote launched last week. Like it's which is hard to say because like when you say game that's launched, it's usually a full game. But okay, so let's get this into perspective. It doesn't run at full frame rate sometimes. The frame rate will drop. There will be lag. There will be game crashes. There will be texture issues where the textures don't render, etc. None of these are issues that I have not had in other AAA fully launched games that I paid $60 for.
Yeah.
So to get angry about a game that's explicitly Game Preview, half the cost of a regular game, everyone is telling you in like all caps, this game is not released.
Yeah.
You're basically playing it. You're paying for a beta. And also, just don't buy it. Just don't play it. Why do you have to get angry about it?
So it's the funny part about this is our culture. This is something that we do. We are video game people. We love playing video games. So we are directly making fun of our own people. Like that's what we're doing. What irritates me is that it's, you know me, there are certain people I will not play betas with. And if you're listening to the podcast, you know who you are. I don't play betas with you anymore because you bitch during the beta that things aren't perfect. Yeah. And it drives me fucking crazy. Now, I understand if you paid $30 to be part of it, you're like, well, I paid for something. Yeah, but you knew when you put that $30 in that you weren't paying $60. So stop it.
Yeah.
Secondly, if you have actual issues, report the fucking issues if they're actual issues so they can be worked on.
Yeah.
You're being granted free, or like not free, but early access to try something, to be part of this community. What I think actually bothers me about this isn't people being upset about things. It's to the level of like pissy, whiny bullshitting that happens all over the goddamn place. So I should know.
Reddit.
Yeah, I should know before I go on Reddit. And no, real places, Polygon, Vice, or Verve, or whatever those fucking, they were all covering it and bitching about the same thing. Like, maybe you shouldn't play it on Xbox. It's like, dude, it's still in early access. Well, PC wasn't this bad. Who gives a flying fuck?
Yeah,
they brought it to Xbox. Yeah, it's just neither here nor there. People had real issues with it. I go on Reddit. I should know before I log into Reddit that people are going to be stupid and say stupid shit. But I go on Reddit also for the subreddit to see what other like tricks and things that people have learned about the game that I don't know yet. So when I go on there and I got to sift through like 30 things of you crying and whining that your game crashed in a fucking preview, not even a beta, not a technical alpha, a game preview.
Yeah.
I have no fucking patience for it.
Yeah.
And it made me realize just how fucking over the top, like entitled and whiny people are about the dumbest fucking things.
Sure.
You put in a full day. I can see how many hours you've put into the game. You've put in a full day of time into the fucking game and you're pissing and whining about something.
Let's get something else straight. There's going to be free updates.
Yeah.
That there's not going to be like expansions or whatever you have to pay with. It's going to be free updates. They're going to fix the crashes. They're going to fix the frame rate at some point.
Yeah.
I mean, it might take a year, but whatever. But it's going to be that shit's going to be free, and then you're going to get from what I understand, you're going to get the full game when it comes out after only paying $30 for the game preview edition. And like, what the fuck do you have to complain about?
It's the same people that complain about. Okay, so the iPhone X, the iPhone 10 has little animojis built in. It's the same people that get mad that it doesn't read their face perfectly every time. It's like, you have this fucking toy. It's not relevant to the rest of the real world. It makes no difference whatsoever in your existence as a person.
It's entitlement.
You're just being a little whiny bitch about it. Yeah.
It's entitlement.
That's all it is. And it's fucking aggravating.
Of course.
I've gone to plenty of movies where you got the sneak preview and I got the free tickets or you pay whatever to go. I've never walked out complaining that the movie wasn't good enough. Yeah. I've never walked out complaining that the graphics weren't rendered properly because I'm like, dude, I got to go for free. I got to see something early. Yeah. Like, we've been playing PUBG for the last few days, about a week now, and there hasn't been a day that I've played it that I didn't have fun. Yeah. And I'm starting going, there's so many fucking problems with this, but none of them are more important than the game being fun.
Yeah.
So I don't know. This is a long rant. This is not an ad for the game, by the way.
Well, it's a great game.
It's a great fucking game.
But the stupid part is even if the game was finished, even if like there weren't these buggy issues, they would still have things to complain about because it wasn't like the game that they wanted to play. Whatever. Yeah. Like, and we've seen that most with Destiny 2, which is just fucking the subreddit for Destiny 2.
It's poison.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's poison.
It's just like
it's a politics subreddit now.
I'm fully convinced that they will never be satisfied with whatever Bungie gives them.
There are a few subreddits that I voluntarily take off my feed. Politics is one. Atheism is another. Veganism is another. Because all it is people being really angry and saying shitty shit about people and being it's vitriolic at all times. There's just
vitriolic. Yeah,
it sucks. So it's funny when I get into these other ones and I'm like, fuck, did I stumble into politics again? I'm playing this video game and people are bitching about like inane, dumb shit. Yeah. Speak with your money. Like, just don't pay it. Don't play it. Don't buy it. You know, if you're going to be a whiny bitch, then just fucking go do something else.
Well, we saw that with Battlefront. Like, everyone supposedly boycotted it. But I mean, I didn't look at the sales numbers, but I wouldn't be surprised.
I'm sure there were millions.
I wouldn't be surprised if there are plenty, like millions of parents who bought it for their kid for Christmas and don't know about boycotting it. That they're supposed to boycott it because of something called microtransactions that they never will begin to understand. Yeah. So it's like, yeah. Yeah, people get angry about video games. People get the stupid thing is people get angry, like the Destiny 2 subreddit is people get angry about things that they love. Like they continue to play it, but they still love to be angry about it.
Well, and then the
It's
defense of that I can say is if you really, really love something, right? Like I'm a big 49er fan. You know that. I've been a fan since I was a little kid.
Yeah.
And we have not been good for a while. Like it's been a few years since we've even been like playoff good. Before that, we really the last 15 years we've been pretty lousy. Like we've had 3 or 4, maybe 5 good seasons out of the last 15. As a fan, because I love them so much, I pay for the NFL package just so I can watch their games. It's expensive, but I pay for it because I want to watch them. I could piss and moan about every single thing that happens week in and week out, but you hear me, I go, you know what? All I want to see is some bright spots. I want to see some improvements. I want to see some, and when we finally turn things around, I get to live there and be in the glory of it and be like, hey, I was here through all this.
Yeah.
So in that defense, maybe some people are like that, where they're like, you know what? I really love Destiny, or I really love PUBG. I want to see it be great.
And all we hear is the anger.
Exactly. Yeah.
That is part of it. That's part of Reddit, is that all you hear is what floats to the top, which is people agreeing with being angry about something, which is really why we have this podcast. So we shouldn't really bash them for doing that, because that's exactly what we do on this podcast. But
we're allowed to be hypocrites.
Yeah, with that we've been upfront about that from day one.
Yeah, that's why I have a microphone.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to take just a minute, really quickly. So today is December 17th, like that's the day we're recording, and it's going to launch on the 18th. But December 17th was my brother's birthday. My brother died last year. He would have been 32 today, which is fucking crazy how young he still would be. I don't want to get too heavy. I don't want to get too into the details, but my brother struggled with bipolar disorder, as we touched on with the mental health episode that we did, and he struggled with drug abuse. A lot of what, looking back on our life now, when I looked at my brother's drug abuse and the issues that he had with it, and the issues he had with crime and things like that, it later on I started to understand that it wasn't just his inability to break free of the demons that he was dealing with. There were a lot of things that happened in his childhood that I wasn't aware of, and really the drug use and things like that were to try to suppress those things. And the crazy thing about everything right now is he's been gone for almost 2 years, and it's, I think about it a little bit less each day, but whenever I catch myself bitching about something stupid, or us getting mad about something stupid, I always like to take a step back and look at the important things in life and realize that, like there are things that are much heavier, much more important. But I think part of our show, what we like to do and what we have fun with, is laughing at the stupid things and the stupid anger we get, so as to give ourselves a break from the real shit. Mm-hmm. But what's important for me from time to time is, especially as we're a week from Christmas, it brings all these kind of things up, like the people that you miss, the loved ones that you've lost, or or even just good memories of old Christmases past or New Year's past and things like that. And I thought to myself that there are a lot of people that go into this Christmas season and it's not a happy one. That it brings up a lot of tough memories, or it brings up loneliness or sadness or anything like that. And I just thought to myself, one of the things that Justin, my brother, struggled with the most was he hated being alone. He when he got out of jail, the thing that was always the toughest for him was he wanted to be around people. He had a huge heart. And I know everybody likes to say when somebody's gone, or, when somebody's been in and out of jail, they're like, oh, well, they just misunderstood, or they have a big heart, or, they were actually a really good person. And I know it's a total cliche, but my brother did have a huge heart. He really, if his heart was in control of everything and he was able to block out his brain, I think he would be a model citizen. But one of the tough parts that you watch when you see somebody going in and out of rehabilitation, if you want to call that, or incarceration, is you watch this person slowly lose sense of that bit, because when you're in there and you're alone, you really are alone. We talk a lot about being lonely in real life and wishing you had more people to talk to or whatever, but when you're in a cell and you don't know which shoulder you need to look over, that's really the most alone you can feel. And after a while of being in and out like that, when you come out, it's hard to shake that feeling. And I know for a long time, that was my brother's biggest struggle, was not feeling alone on the outside as well. And so he tried his hardest to always try to find people to be around. And a lot of times what would end up happening is he'd find people that were in the same situation he was in, either issues with drugs or coming from tough families. And it's funny, if you were to click on his Facebook, you'd see the women that he was friends with and how many of them like had kids that he would try to help with, or You know, he's one of those people that had a ton of problems, but he was always trying to save someone else's problems. He was always trying to help someone else get out of their situation. And it just made me think that this year it's been a weird year. We've had a lot of weird stuff happen in politics and real life and things like that. And it made me realize that as you're going into this last week before Christmas, if you are alone, if you are sad, if you're dealing with bipolar, if you're dealing with drugs, if you feel alone, reach out to somebody. You know, reach out to us if you want to talk to us. There are hotlines everywhere to reach out to. Don't feel like you need to be around the wrong people so to not be alone. You know, if you find yourself alone at Christmas and you want somebody to talk to, seriously hit us up. You know, if you have a neighbor and you're not sure, talk to them. I think about it a lot right now, and I just think to myself that if my brother was here, what would he be doing? And the thing that makes me sad is that the last Christmas before we lost him, he was just at home with my mom, you know, and I sent him it was his birthday today, obviously. And I ordered him a pizza and like a dessert, and I sent it to the house. And he's like, "Oh, it's cool. I can make food here." I was like, "No, man, put the food in the fridge. I'm ordering you pizza for your birthday." And it was funny because I didn't realize how much of a big deal it was to him, but we were digging through some boxes the other day, some pictures, and I looked through and I found the paper plates from when I bought him the pizza for his birthday. And it made me realize that sometimes it's the littlest things, you know, it's the little things, especially this time of year. So, obviously I just, you know, I wanted to say something. I miss my brother, and I know I believe he's up there looking down on us, and I try to talk to him whenever I can. But if I've learned anything from this, is that I hope that if you're alone, if you're sad, if you're struggling with anything, please reach out to somebody. Don't let yourself be alone, and don't let yourself be in situations you don't want to be in just out of fear of reaching out. That's it.
Thank you for listening to episode 38. If you enjoyed what you heard, please let us know, and you can rate and review us on iTunes and Facebook. We want to hear what you think about it.
And if you have any thoughts, questions, comments, concerns, you can hit us up via email at unreasonablyangrypodcast@gmail.com. We're also available on Twitter, and we're available to be heard now on Spotify. I think we forgot to bring that up last week.
Oh, yeah.
It's pretty cool. I know Spotify is still not everybody's like go-to spot for podcasts, but it is pretty cool to see our names on there. And if you use Waze for directions, it's got Spotify built right in, so as you're driving around, you can listen to us cuss.
Yeah.
So until next time, my name is Eric.
And I'm Gary.
Stay angry, fuckers.